What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back here for another match preview. We have got Burnley away on Monday night at Turf Moor. Obviously, Turf Moor always a very, very hard place to go. But Burnley not having the best of it this season. 18th in the league, as to Spurs 7th in the league, not scoring many goals. How do you expect this game to go?
It's going to be a tough game. Burnley are going to have to be up for the fight because they're in a real... I think they could be in a dogfight this season, considering they haven't signed many players, haven't really improved the squad that much, and considering obviously Fulham and West Ham do look kind of... they don't look great, but then you've got Leeds who've come up and they look strong. They don't look like they're going to be battling for relegation. So there is definitely some spots open for in the battle, and I think Burnley at the moment they're struggling. But they're one of those teams who always seem to be getting out of it. They always seem to get out of the relegation scrap somehow by come the end of the season. So I expect them to come on at some point, and it's always a tough place to go. So it's going to be a battle. It really is, and we're going to have to be up for the fight if we're going to get anything from this game.
Do you think Burnley are one of the candidates to go down this season, as well as how much they spent this summer?
Look, I think they're with under Sean Dyche. There's at the beginning of every season they're always one of the candidates, and by mid-season they're always well safe. It always happens every single year. So I think they'll be all right. And I think they have enough quality in the team with Chris Wood, with Dwight McNeill, Jay Rodriguez, Ben Mee, Tarkowski they kept as well, Nick Pope. So they've got a good spine there. They've got a good spine in the team. So I think...
Me personally, I think Nick Pope should be England #1.
He's good. Yeah, he's a good keeper, Nick Pope. I'm a fan of him. And especially with the way Pickford's playing at the moment, there's no doubt about it. He could easily be England's #1. So I don't think they are going to go down. I think that if they don't get their act together, then they might be in a scrap. But because at the moment they're struggling to score goals, especially. But I think they'll be okay. And it's these kind of games where a team is struggling down the bottom, and then we're like kind of doing all right going forward, and we go into the game thinking this should be a rollover, and then all of a sudden it's a big battle, and if we're not up for the battle, we can be rolled over. Definitely.
Coming into the game, who do you think are the most important players in the Spurs lineup that are going to be indispensable to winning this game?
I think Ndombele is going to be very, very important in terms of controlling the possession midfield. Him and Højbjerg together as well, for sure.
I think Lo Celso.
I'm not sure if Lo Celso is going to start. I have a feeling he's not going to go with Lo Celso and Ndombele like everyone's hoping for, unfortunately. I think it's going to be like Sissoko and Ndombele again, and Højbjerg like it was away at Man United, and it was at home to West Ham, I believe, wasn't it? So I think that's what he's going to do again. I think he's going to want that strength and energy in midfield. And I think it's really important that Ndombele turns it on like he has been recently, because Burnley in the midfield are going to try and make it into a battle, and he's the one who has to kind of... he's the only one in the midfield who can kind of turn it on its head, and when they come and press, he has to be able to twist away and find the men in space. He's the key to unlocking Burnley, in my opinion, to creating space in around the back four, because if he can beat the press, he draws the defenders out towards him, and it can leave space for Son, Kane, and whoever we play on the right wing. So I think for me in midfield, he's the key.
Obviously, Burnley, a very physical team, a very tall team. We're going to have to worry big time on our defending set pieces this weekend, aren't we?
Big time. Because that. First of all, it doesn't matter who they play against. Burnley always look for the set pieces. Every game they play, they make a plan for them. They have a lot of routines from set pieces that they try. They've got some decent spot kick takers as well. So they always get a pretty decent delivery in the box. And with people like Ben Mee, Tarkowski and Wood, they're always going to be a threat. So our defending from set pieces so far this season has been absolutely atrocious. It really has. So whether Mourinho puts in men like Doherty or Rodon to combat that, or whether he concentrates on how we're playing on open play and sticks with people like Alderweireld and Aurier, I'm not sure. I think he might go to Burnley with a plan, I'm thinking, to combat those set pieces. Because I think from open play, we should be okay. I really do. And it's all about just keeping them out from those corners and not giving away any silly free kicks.
We seem to be fine from open play against anyone, really.
At the moment, yeah.
It's just these set pieces that are letting us down week in, week out. We saw it against West Ham. We saw it in pretty much every game we've conceded a goal this season. We've seen our frailties from defending set pieces. And it really needs to improve. So, I mean... everyone last night, well, not everyone, but quite a few people were calling on Ben Davis to start left side of the centre-backs this weekend. But
No.
I just feel like it's going to be a bad move with his kind of aerial ability.
In fact, actually, I wouldn't be totally surprised if we went with a back three tomorrow on Monday. Go with a back three, have Davis there, have Sanchez, and maybe Roden or Toby as well. Then you got the wing backs flying forward, and because maybe you don't need three centre mids in there. Maybe you could just have Ndombele and Højbjerg sitting, and then have a front three like that. So we could have a back three. I think we probably will go with a back four, but I don't think I would put Davis in if it was a back three, but if it was a back four, I just don't think Davis has the aerial presence or the physicality to compete with the Burnley forwards. They're going to know they can bully him, and they'll just stick a striker on him on set pieces, and that'll be that. Then there's an avenue they could exploit. So I wouldn't have Davis in this game. I think there are times that Davis can fill in, but Burnley away is not one of them.
Our last 5 games against Burnley, we've won 3 of them. Only one of them being at Turf Moor. The last 3 games at Turf Moor, we've only won 1 of them, and 2 of them being a loss and a draw, which was our last 2 games at Turf Moor. But they're sitting at 18th in the league. Is this one where the players could take a bit lightly?
No,
I'm not saying that. Obviously, but in their minds, could they switch off because we're playing a team 18th in the league?
I would potentially say yes if Sunday didn't happen. But Sunday happened, and we gave away a 3-goal lead in 8 minutes. So if that doesn't tell you that you can't take any game lightly at any point, I'm not sure what will. And if that doesn't get it through their heads that you can never switch off and never stop giving 100%, then there's no other alarm bell more alarming than giving away a 3-goal lead with 8 minutes to go.
That's for sure.
Have to. They will not take this lightly, and especially as well, given the fact we rested a lot of the players on Thursday. Kane and Ndombele are going to be fresh. There's no way we're taking this game lightly. There's no way. If we do, there's something seriously wrong.
Who are you worried about in the Burnley squad?
Dwight Mcneill. I think he's a really good player, very underrated. I think he could play for a top 6 team.
Really?
I think so. I think he's a good player. I think he's
top 6.
I believe he could play for a top 6 team. I think he's that good.
What team does he get in the top 6? Do you reckon?
I don't know if he immediately starts, but he's definitely be in the squad for a lot of the top 6 teams. A lot of them for sure. I'm a big fan of Dwight Mcneill, and I think if he wasn't playing for Burnley, people would take him more seriously. I think he had a really good season last season. A lot of the attacking threat comes down from him. He's got a very good left foot as well, and he's quick. And I think if Aurier plays, he's going to have to keep an eye on him big time, because he's their biggest threat in midfield for sure. 100%. And then obviously you've got Chris Wood up front, who's a big lad, strong, got a really good finish. He's done well since he's come into the Premier League.
Scored a few goals against us, hasn't he?
He scored at Wembley, I remember. I think he might have scored last season as well at Turf Moor.
Yeah, I think he did.
We know he's always a threat aerially. He's really strong. I honestly would have taken him as our backup striker if given the chance. If we had the opportunity to sign him, I think he's like that. He's a solid option. And I think injuries permitting, he's always been a threat ever since he's come into the Premier League. But his injury record's not great. That's why maybe he hasn't scored as many goals. But whenever he's on the pitch, he usually is a threat. Or like back end of last season, I remember he came back from injury and banged in quite a few goals after lockdown. So I think he's always a big threat, Chris Wood. But we just got cut off the supply to him.
I mean, you would assume that if Spurs take their chances on Monday night, then it could be a comfortable win for us. But like every other game, you've got to score early and kind of throw their game plan out the window. I know we said that against West Ham when we went 3-0 up, and that's exactly what we did. We threw their game plan out the window, but they responded.
Yeah.
But you would say that's only a 1 in a million chance, coming back from 3-0 after the 82nd minute. If the game goes the same way and we take our chances early, you got to expect us to win the game.
For sure. And what I would say is I know against Newcastle and against West Ham, we ended up not winning those games by two games where it was the last kick of the game and we gave away the points where we should have in both games. We should have been absolutely home and host by the 94th minute or whatever they scored. Yeah. But I think in those games, even though we didn't win, what we did prove is that when a team sits low block against us, we still have the quality to create chances and we still have the technical ability to open teams up. And that wasn't evident last season a lot of the time. And more importantly, we're able to dominate those games without the threat being caught out on the counter attack as much as last season. Last season we were being caught out on the counter time and time again. When it was like teams would give us the ball because they know they could counter us because we had no shield for the back four. Now we have that shield in Højbjerg. All of a sudden we're not being countered as easily. We're not conceding so many goals from open play, and we're really controlling games. When we do have in open play. So I think if Burnley do sit deep against us, we should have the technical ability to open them up. And if they do want to come and play a bit and attack us a bit, I think we have the physicality to cut off their supply line, because they're going to go long ball a lot to Chris Wood, and we have to be able to press them high like Mourinho's been doing a lot this season, cut off their supply lines, and when it's in transitions, you got Kane and Son to hit them. And that's exactly what we've been doing in every first half this season. Not every first half, but recently, since the Newcastle game, we've been top notch in every first half. Absolutely top. We started quickly. We started on the front foot. We haven't let the other team settle. And when it's come to the attacking transitions, we've been dynamite. Yeah. So it's exactly what we got to do against Burnley.
From what you said before about the defensive players, do you think that Joe Rodon and Matt Doherty then could be suited to these?
I've got a feeling Matt Doherty comes in this game because although Aurier has been better this season, no doubt about it, I feel like Doherty, with his superior aerial presence, and he's still got that ability to get forward as well, I feel like he could be better suited to this game than Aurier, because I feel like Aurier is always culpable of giving away a silly free kick. He's always, from set pieces, he's not as good in the air or at marking as well than Matt Doherty. And I think and Matt Doherty still has that ability to get forward like Aurier does, although Aurier does it better. I think Matt Doherty still has that threat, so I wouldn't be surprised if just for this game at least he gives Doherty the shirt. In terms of who's the other player you asked about? Rodon. The only thing stopping Rodon playing this game, I think, is that it's a bit too early for him because he's just joined. But I think he has all the qualities for this game to be suited to him. It really does, because if we put him in,
sometimes Jose likes throwing players in the deep end though. Yeah,
and to just see what they're made of, kind of thing. I think if we put him in, he could be ideal player to deal with set pieces, because he's 6'4". He's our biggest centre back. I don't think any centre back we have is as big as Joe Rodon. So for this kind of game, it could be important to have that kind of height in the box at set pieces that we've been lacking, and also the defensive organisation as well. I have a feeling he could go with that, but if he doesn't, then it will still be Sanchez and probably Toby or Dyer.
Like you said before, that you think we could potentially go with a back five or a back three. Do you think it potentially could be Rodon in the middle of that back three with with Dyer and Davis either side?
That's the only reason I would go with the back three, is to fit Rodon in my opinion. Yeah. Because maybe you don't trust him totally but in a pair. Maybe you want a couple of centre backs around him to help him out. Which especially if you say you play back three, you got Ben Davies next to him, helping him out throughout the game. Yeah. Who knows him well from his time at Wales. So that could easily be an option. And then you don't have a third central midfielder, but you still have Højbjerg and Ndombele, who have physicality and enough creativity to kind of in the attacking transitions. So we could go that way. I don't know. It's difficult. It's a difficult one to call. There's a few things he could do, but because we know Burnley are so strong at set pieces, we'll just, and also it could help if we put Matt Doherty on the right hand side in a back three, could help him as well. So wouldn't be totally surprised if we go that way. It's just we've looked so good in the formations. We've playing in the 4-3-3. Does he want to change it up so drastically when it's going so well? It's another situation, because there's a balance you got to play. Where there's a balance between the way you're playing and adjusting to the opposition. He's got to find that balance, and whether playing a back five is the right balance or not, because we haven't played that too many times under Jose, and we haven't looked that great when we have.
This season, the only time we played it was against Chelsea, right?
Correct. And even though we played well in the second half, in the first half, it was we looked quite blunt going forward. So whether he does that or not, whether he adjusts totally for Burnley, or he continues playing the way we're playing at the moment, right, we'll have to see. We'll have to see in the game, but I have a feeling
Jose's got to conjure up some sort of plan. You know what I mean?
To combat their set pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like for that he'll play Doherty. Would he stick Joe Rodon in? My heart's telling me yes. My head's telling me no. It's difficult.
Yeah, I know.
It's interesting. I've got a feeling he's just going to do it because he is our best header of the ball, and it kind of makes sense. But then again, is it too early? Is he not going to do it? I'm not sure. I guess we'll have to see in our predicted lineup.
Exactly. It remains to be seen. But anyway, let me know in the comment section below. Would you like to see Roden play? Would you like to see Matt Doherty play? Or would you like to see Aurier play? Let me know in the comment section below. But before we go, first of all, let's get a score prediction from you.
I'm going to go 2-0 to Tottenham.
2-0 Spurs.
We'll get an early goal. We'll be under the cosh and we'll wrap it up later on.
Good. That's a poor performance in terms of our last few away games in the
Maybe,
Premier League.
but you know what? It's, you get every win counts, and you got sometimes you can't always play well, and this might be one of those games.
Yeah, I mean, Burnley haven't scored a lot of goals this season. They've conceded in their last 5, I think, around the same amount as us. So it's a tough game. It's a tough one to predict, but I think Burnley are going to be up for this, but I'm going to go 2-1. I think we're going to scrape it 2-1. But let me know your score predictions in the comment section below. And finally, we have got a sensational offer from William Hill. It's for new customers only, so you got to check on our Twitter for the link to join this bet. But is Gareth Bale to score anytime, 40-1 for new customers only. Max bet is £1. When the fun stops, stop. Be gamble aware only, over 18s only. But anyway, if you want to join in on this deal, then check out our Twitter account. The link will be on our Twitter. But it is a great offer if Gareth Bale does play. That is. But anyway, it's 40-1.
Yeah,
can't really complain.
No, can't complain about that. He's always likely to get a shot off. So
I mean, even if it comes on the last half an hour, 20 minutes, everyone would back him to get a goal
for sure.
But anyway, there you have it. That is our match preview. Check out tomorrow as the predicted lineup will be out. Like, subscribe, and comment. As always, come on, you Spurs.